All right, everybody knows what day it is. It is hashtag Friday Pie Day. I had to start this a half hour early. It is what it is, rather than put it off for an entire day because I have something that came up that is going to stop me from being able to do it from like 1 to 1:30, 1 to 1:45, something like that. I figured let's just start it early. Everybody gets what they need. Bang, bang, boom. And we'll talk about the market. So we're going to talk about what's going on in the markets, a little bit of news-based stuff, talk about a little bit of Wolfers stuff. We're going to talk about the markets. If you're in Nordic Alpha, you kind of already know about the markets. So I would highly suggest anybody that's not in Nordic Alpha, it's the first link in the description. Or if you're here from Twitter, we appreciate you for watching on Twitter. It's in my description, right? So if you want to get in there and see what's going on with the markets, be able to trade, be able to profit from trading, be able to learn how to trade from verified pro traders, AKA me, AKA my guy, JP. Feel free to get in there. So with that being said, let's just get straight into it. No wasting time, right? If you are here from the future, hello from the past. We appreciate you. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. And then boom, baby, bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant section. Share this around. Let's see what's going on in the markets. We're going to look at the crypto bubbles as well because ETH, dude, some wild stuff happened with ETH, which is pretty cool. Good stuff, good stuff. We cannot be mad about what is happening with ETH right now. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay. So first and foremost, where's my thingy? I got to do my handy dandy screen transition. Bang, right? Okay. That is the wrong screen. That's my bad. I got to drag it over there. All right. So this is good news for Wolfers, man. I love this for Wolfers. Ethereum, right? Let's look at the crypto bubbles first and foremost. Crypto bubbles, a lot of stuff is down right now. I hate to be the guy that broke the bad news, but we already laid this scenario out yesterday. Back on this candle is when we laid the scenario out. We said, look, there's 4 scenarios. You're either rejecting from here, you're going to bounce from here if you gain it, you're going to bounce from here, or if you come under here, then you're going to reject and you're going to go down. That's exactly what happened. So try to give people all scenarios so that you can profit no matter what. I know a lot of people don't do that. They're just like, look, this is, the trade that I'm going to take. Well, there's multiple trades, man. So if you're nimble enough in the markets and you understand the markets well enough, you understand that there's like 4 or 5 different ways that this thing can go. So you want to be prepared for all of them. This was the only place that was a no trade zone, right? And exactly what happened. We rejected from it. Bam, we came down, came through it. Boom. You'd had 2 monster trades right there. But that's not the point of this right here. Okay, so I want to this is why the market's down. This is my point. Look at Bitcoin, right? So where's ETH? ETH is still above $3,500, man. 3,600. It's like 25% off of its all-time high. I couldn't care less. That's not bad. That is not bad. We've got AVAX, which is still just above $20, right? $23.50 almost, $23.25, something like that. It's finding a nice little floor, man. But if let's just call it what it is. If Bitcoin does what I think Bitcoin could potentially do, this stuff's going to go down a little bit more, and then we might find a floor. You've got S token staying above 30 cents, which is good, right? I would like to see S token get up to at least $1.50. Okay, by the time this run ends. I would honestly, what we really want to see is $3, right? But I think $1.50, that's like a 5x from here, not even. So Avalanche, I would like to see it at about $100, $125 potentially. That's close to its all-time high, by the way. And Avalanche has a unique ability to go to its all-time high and potentially go past its all-time high. Why? Because it has the best tokenomics in the game. Where it's a non-inflationary asset. Okay, they burn all of the fees, and it's a really good ecosystem, right? And then obviously we would like to see ETH go, over $6,000, right? Over $6,000, more like 7. We would like to see 7, but we can talk about that here in just a second. Now we've got BlackRock. They filed their ETF for Ethereum. Dude, this thing got $10 billion in inflows in 10 days. If that doesn't show you how much ETH actually matters inside of the cryptoverse, I don't know what can. It's one of our big investments, one of our big validators that we have, where our capital is allocated to. So yeah, that's bullish nature for Wolfers, at least in my opinion. Secondarily, where's my thing? $3.1 billion in crypto has been lost in just the first half of 2025 from smart contract bugs, access control oversights, and rug pulls. Okay. And scams like phishing, social engineering, stuff like that. Right. So like, dude, this is how you know like bull runs are back. And that potential altcoin rallies could be coming, because when the scammers start coming out, it's because there's liquidity in the market. It's because there's participants in the market. It's because there's money to be made in the market, right? They come out, they don't come out when there's no money in the market. Scammers, I mean, they're going to be here no matter what, but they're going to be here in troves whenever there's money flowing into the market. We're not just talking about into these ETFs, we're talking about into the actual market, this right here, inside of the actual coins, okay? Then we've got NASDAQ Exchange, Tron, right? Formerly SRM Entertainment, as you can see, just got listed, man. Isn't that nuts? It's now officially under its NASDAQ listed, its new name, pioneering blockchain integrated treasury strategies, right? So that's pretty wild. Justin's son went from like potentially getting sued to like on the NASDAQ. It's pretty epic, right? Pretty epic. So let's talk about the markets. I want to talk about what's going on in the markets right now. Because, you know, things are, you know, for all intents and purposes, things are pretty crazy. And I'm going to show you where I actually called this out. You can literally go into the Nordic Alpha Discord. Again, I called this out 2 days ago, man, 7/23/2025, right? Let me show you. I'm not going to share the whole video, obviously. I'm just going to go here and just saying. That's the guy. That's the guy that told you. That's the guy that told you that this was going to happen right here. Rejection, boom, right? Come back under it, rejection, boom. Does this guy look familiar? Dude, get into the Nordic Alpha Discord if you actually want to make money. I don't know what to tell you, man. We're going to talk about these markets. Let me make sure that I'm still in the thingy. I am. That's cool. Let me switch servers and still, you know, everything was good. Let's get all this stuff off of here. Keep the crypto bubbles on. Okay. If you have anything you want me to look at, drop it in the comments section, man. Yeah. With that being said, okay, so Bitcoin was trading in a range. It was a very easy range to pick out. Obviously, we picked it out like from a mile away, dude. I've got, you know, trainings coming out on how to do this stuff for yourself, so you don't have to rely on me. You can go and fish for yourself. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, this is exactly what happened, right? Let's turn this brush. This is exactly what happened. We were talking about this here. We said, look, you get a rejection here. Okay, great. You're going to be targeting right here. So here's your short, right? So let's go ahead and let's just get all this stuff off of here that didn't matter. Perfect trade, perfect execution, profit target hit, profit target smashed, you left your runner. Like, this is textbook trading, man. This is textbook trading. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to turn this off, okay? So you're trading inside of a downward, like basically a descending wedge, right? This is actually a bullish pattern, but I cautioned people. I said, look, we're also trading inside of this channel where we're setting these lower highs. If we get a rejection here, it's likely that we're going to come down here. We're going to lose this level, and then we're going to create, you know, higher or lower lows, right? And now we're going to start trading into a downward sloping channel, right? So that's exactly what happened, right? We were talking about this here, right? What happened? Boom, we came up, we rejected, we front ran it. We came right down to the target. We lost the target. We bearishly back tested it. We took the trade for another rip yet again. Bing, bang, boom. I don't know what to tell you, man. If you're not inside of the Nordic Alpha Discord, I don't know what you're doing. Let's talk about the S&P, because the S&P is going absolutely bonkers right now. It is in an upward sloping parallel. It's got, we'll call it $6,400 is going to be the resistance here. And then your support is going to be right here around 63.18. That's where there's a nice gap here. Nice gap fill all the way down to 63.10. Okay. So, yeah. In any case, right? In any case, that's what's happening. So with that being said, that's what's happening inside of the SP. I don't want to touch on it too terribly much. I also want to show you what happened inside of the metals markets because, dude, I mean, these things were, I mean, they were due for a pullback. I mean, we talked about this inside of Nordic Alpha as well. We said, look, you know, we get under this, we bearishly back test it. We're shorting down to the, you know, 0.382, right? At the very least, you could start thinking about going long down here at the 0.618 and the 0.786. You got paid like ridiculously on this trade, right? And then you just came right back up and rejected off of the 50 and then just massive fall on silver. And it's not like, I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to say that we like called all of this, right? But I did give you both scenarios, right? I did give you both scenarios inside of Nordic Alpha. I said, look, you come here, you get your rejection, you're shorting, right? You leave your runner, you let it run. You know, you say you take 80% off here, right? You let the rest run. You see what happens at the 200 moving average. You see what happens at the 0.618. And then if you get through there, you see what happens at the 0.786. And that's exactly what happened. You bounced from the 0.786 fib. It was perfect. It was a beautiful play. It was a beautiful trade. And if you're in the community, you're getting these trades, man. You're getting these trades and they're getting knocked out like every single day. Now, here's the thing with this, with gold as it sits right now. I mean, we could be seeing a head and shoulders pattern forming here, right? And I'm calling this early, I know, but we topped out here. We came down yesterday, or I think it was 2 days ago. I basically said, look, if you regain this level, you're long, right? If you lose this level right here, you're shorting. Now, you could long at the 0.786. You could long at the 618. So this is 618.786, right? And as it sits right now, you're trying to regain that 786, but you have not bearishly back tested this, right? I mean, technically, did you? Yes. Here's your breakdown candle. Here's your confirmation candle. Here's your back test and your subsequent rejection. But were you there sitting watching the charts when that happened, you know, 6 hours ago? Probably not, right? It is like 6 a.m. in the United States. At the very least, it was 8 a.m. on this candle. So is this a perfect breakdown of that channel? Not necessarily, because it is a doji, so that could just say, okay, we're going back up, right? It's an indecision doji. But, you know, in any case, you are seeing the breakdown on gold right now, and that could take us pretty far down, to be honest with you. Like, this could take us down to what's that, about 3,250 bucks, somewhere, I would say somewhere right around here to these swing lows, about 3,250, 3,260. And the 1.618 extension is right down there, right? Now, secondarily, we can look and see what's happening with this head and shoulders pattern, because this head and shoulders pattern could play out nasty, right? I mean, this could be a nasty head and shoulders, right? I mean, I would like to see something like this, right? Where you basically come up, if you're shorting, right? Obviously, I don't want to see this. I want to see gold pump. I want to see gold reverse here. That's just from my bias perspective, but I'm saying from a trading perspective, I would want to see a rejection here at the 0.382, $3,390. And then bang, then you know that you've got a head and shoulders pattern. It's playing out, especially if you have oversold nature right here, okay? Here's your target, right? It'd be something like this, right down here to the 0.618. Yeah, I mean, 3,260, you know, and that could be your potential balance point. But what you don't want to see, right? I mean, and this is, we're already seeing it as it sits right now. Let me save this. One hour head and shoulders. So let's get this off of here. So what we're seeing right now is we have lost all these moving averages. We're about to get a death cross where the 50 crosses below the 200. So you really need to see this get back above the $3,350 level in order for gold to be bullish. And if you reject from the $3,345 to $3,350 level, gold is ultra bearish, and you're going to be seeing this. You're going to be seeing this as your trade. That's your short, right? And your short is probably going to be somewhere down to about here. Right down, right? And that's a 5x risk to reward ratio. That's assuming that you set your stop loss all the way up here, right? By the 200 moving average. So, you know, that's kind of what's happening inside of gold right now. But let's talk about Bitcoin, man, because we have now smacked these lows, okay? We've now smacked these lows, bang, right? It doesn't look awesome, right? It doesn't necessarily look awesome, but we would technically be in a downward sloping parallel channel right now, which if you know anything about downward sloping parallels, what do? well, they tend to break out. They tend to break up, right? So as you can see, there's your parallel, and bing, bang, boom. Let's take this trend line off, take this trend line off, take this trend line. So as you see, we're in a downward sloping parallel. It's pretty easy to see, right? And you're bouncing from the bottom of it. So I would be targeting the midpoint of this for a long. If I'm a betting man and I'm a trading man, once we've double bottomed here, we hit a nice swing failure pattern. As you can see, swing failure, bang, boom. Are we oversold on the RSI at that point? Yes, we are. And you have a bear or a bullish divergence, right? No, you don't have a bullish divergence. Just kidding. Never mind. No, technically you do, because this is where, yeah, I mean, this is a very, like, you got to go down. We'll go down a 30-minute chart. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, so this is your bullish divergence. You've got your low, you've got your higher lows, and you're setting lower lows on price, right? So you've got your bullish divergence, you've got your bounce point, right? And this is where I would be aiming for, somewhere in this realm. And you can set your stop loss pretty friggin' tight on this. I would set the stop loss somewhere right about there. And let's zoom out. That's a 6x risk to reward ratio, just aiming back for 117.5. If you know anything about Bitcoin, you know that 117.6 right now is a pretty key resistance level as it sits. So that's where I would be looking to take profits. Also, you're going to be running into a lot of dynamic resistances right there with your moving averages from anywhere from your 15-minute time frame all the way up to your 30, 45-minute, hour, and 4-hour charts, right? Let's look at the 4-hour chart, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see, even the 4-hour chart starting to have its moving averages down there. So you've got your 100 moving average here. Where's the 2? Where's the 2 hundo? Way down here, way down here. So 100 moving average right up here on the 4-hour chart, 117.5. I mean, that's what I would be looking for. That's exactly what I would be looking for. I think XRP might be seeing a nice dip soon. And the reason being is because their old boy just moved like, is it $75 million worth of XRP or something crazy like that into cold wallets or into centralized exchange wallets. So just watch this kind of like toppy nature right here. Because this could get crazy. This thing could, you know, drop down to $2.50 relatively quickly, especially since you got the 200 moving average down there and you've got your 0.618 down there. So with that being said, honestly, I appreciate everybody for showing up. I apologize. That is all the time that I have today. I wish I could spend more time on it. I actually have something that I need to get to. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a good, as we call in the Wolfer household, #Friday Pie Day with their beautiful families. Thank you again so much for showing up. I appreciate you. I will see you in the next video. I promise I'm going to, my life is, it was kind of in shambles for a little bit. I was moving and we're about done with about the last thing that we have to sort out. Everybody knows I have a wife, I have a family, I have children, stuff like that. So, you know, there's things that you have to do whenever you move. It's not just simply like, oh, I moved to a new apartment, right? I'm a single guy. No, there's a lot of stuff that you have to do, especially when you're moving from city to city and you have children. So with that being said, I will see you all soon. I promise you the content will be kicking off nasty style lately or very soon. I know it hasn't been going lately, but it will be kicking off pretty nasty in the coming couple of weeks. So I will see you all soon. Everybody have a wonderful day. Peace.